All right, thank you very much, Matt. Time for your first look at top stories on this Wednesday. Colorado's Supreme Court ruled that former President Donald Trump is disqualified from holding the presidency under the Constitution's so-called insurrection clause. The court ordered Colorado's Secretary of State to exclude Trump's name from the state's Republican presidential primary ballot. The decision marks the first time a court has found Trump ineligible to return to the White House in the wake of the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. And in Washington, President Biden delivered a eulogy at the funeral of Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. She was the first woman to serve on the nation's highest court. The president called O'Connor gracious and wise, civil and principled. She died earlier this month at the age of 93. And Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin successfully launched its New Shepard rocket into space. The uncrewed rocket carried a payload of tests high above West Texas during the 10-minute flight. The launch was the first for Blue Origin since a crash 15 months ago. And for much of America, the hunt for housing was an unsuccessful one this year. Plagued by high mortgage rates and low inventory, many aspiring homeowners found themselves heading back to the drawing board on their plans for a home. So what can we expect in 2024? Well, Scripps News correspondent Meg Hilling is going to break it down with some predictions from experts for this upcoming new year.
The 2023 housing market was memorable.
2023 was rotten.
The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate climbed up to 8% for the first time since 2000. Low inventory sparked bidding wars, and Americans were left to grapple with finding affordable housing on stretched incomes. But what's expected in 2024?
It looks like it's going to be a little bit better.
Holden Lewis is a housing and mortgage expert for NerdWallet and has covered the housing market since 2001.
You're going to see kind of three things happening. Mortgage rates are expected to fall. You're still going to see a limited inventory of homes for sale, and home prices are probably they're going to continue to rise. They're not going to skyrocket, but they're going to continue going up.
So what does that mean for you? Let's start with buyers.
Buyers are really sensitive to lower mortgage rates right now. They go down a little bit, a lot of buyers rush into the market. But you're not going to see a corresponding number of people rushing to list their homes for sale. There's still going to be competition among buyers, and so that is going to keep home prices from falling.
But what about sellers? Lewis says high mortgage rates have kept many homeowners from wanting to sell, either to upgrade, downsize, or relocate, as they don't want to give up a lower mortgage rate that they have for their current residence. But he says it doesn't have to be that way.
You don't only have to negotiate on price. You can give things to the buyer besides giving up on price. And one would be to pay for discount points. Let's say instead of dropping the price by 3%, you take that 3% and you buy discount points for the buyer, and you drop their mortgage rate by 0.75 of a percentage point. That buyer is going to get a lot lower monthly payments with that than they would if you just dropped that price by 3%. And so that's kind of a win-win thing where they get better monthly payments.
But what about renters?
I think you're going to see less upward pressure on rents. And the reason is that there's been this record number of apartments under construction all year.
So how do you figure out what makes the most sense for you? Claire Trapasso is the executive news editor of Realtor.com. She says it's important to not overlook options, be it a duplex you can rent out to help cover costs, a fixer-upper, or a new build.
If you're trying to get into the market, don't sleep on new construction. A lot of people are like, new construction, it's more expensive. But builders have been building smaller and they've been building more affordable in the last couple of years, and they're offering incentives. So a lot of builders are able to buy down mortgage rates, which means that you could have lower mortgage rates for maybe the first year, 2 or 3 years of your mortgage. And some are even buying down mortgage rates for a whole 30 years.
In addition, she says it's crucial you're honest with yourself on what you need versus what you want.
First-time buyers especially, It's okay to compromise. It's okay if you don't get the house of your dreams that you saw on HGTV with the perfect kitchen and the perfect everything that you've always wanted in a home. It's your first house. You'll eventually most likely get another house at some point in time.
Trapassos says ultimately, only you will know what the right move is for you.
If housing is something that you really value and you dream of becoming a homeowner, don't give up. It's going to be tough, but try to think a little bit outside the box. Try to get a bit creative. Can you find ways to offset your costs? Can you find ways to negotiate down? Can you compromise into something that works for you right now? But keep trying if this is something that you really want and something that makes financial sense for you.
Putting some buffers on what's been a complicated path to home ownership in recent years. Meg Hilling, Scripps News, Chicago.